Hey everybody, Zach here and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to do the October 2021 Dino Rabbit format tier list. I think I'm going to do this monthly. So we added a few more decks. Tier list has changed slightly. We're going to, like I said, every month we're going to try to update this, so let's get into it. So we're going to do the Metadex first. So Dino Rabbit is still, in my opinion, the best deck. It has the best matchups across the board, and it has the most versatility to it. Followed in a close second by Windup. Windup is still insanely strong. The hand loop is always good and will defeat you out of nowhere if you do not have the hand traps for it. Third, we have the Bugs. Inzectors are such a powerful deck. They do not care what you do. If you do not kill them fast enough, that is it. The game is over. And lastly, we have Chaos Dragons. This deck is batshit insane. If you open Future Fusion, it's practically a game if your opponent does not have a response for it. So yeah, Tier 1, at least the top 4 decks will remain in Tier 1. So now we're going to get into the order randomly. As you can see, we added some decks. So Jirax are going to fall into the casual category. Oh, this is Evil Swords, not Jirax. I'm sorry. This deck will fall into the casual category. The deck is really the same as it was a month ago. It's just Dino Rabbit, but worse. I don't know what else to say. So Lightsworns. Lightsworns are always going to be a good deck. I am putting like Twilight and like Flamvel Sworn or even Pure Lightsworn all in the JD section. So this is going to still be Tier 3. It is a very good Tier 3 deck. And honestly, if we do get tournament success with it this month, because we are having our first Discord tournament, join the Discord if you are interested in playing. This deck can easily move up to Tier 2 if we do get tournament success with it. Up next is Chaos. This is like Piper Chaos, Chaos Control. This deck is in the Tier 3 spot like last time. This deck almost falls into the same spot as Lightsworns. It is like close but not close. So like definitely looking for Lightsworn to jump to Tier 2. Next, we're going to talk about Heroes. So Heroes I had as the best Tier 2 deck. And after having the first 2 events with this deck, I'm almost inclined to put it in Tier 1. 2 second place finishes, and honestly, I've been having great success with the deck. The deck has impressed me when I played against it, and it is so good. We're going to put it here for now, but if this deck has more consistent success, it is going to go to Tier 1 without a doubt. Chainburn is going to fall from Tier 3 to Rogue. I was testing this deck a little bit more. The deck, I was giving it a little too much credit for having a couple of YCS tops in like the historical format. This deck is just like, it loses to so many things. 6 Sams are still a good deck. Shien is just a hard card to out sometimes. So Shien on its own keeps the deck in Tier 3. So we have our friend Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo here, so we can talk about ninjas. So ninjas were a casual deck last week or last month, and they are going to return here. They almost moved up to Rogue, as I found a build that I really do like, and I was having success against quite a few of the Rogue and Tier 3 decks with it. Unfortunately, I just think it's missing just a little bit of actual like success against, you know, decks that will fall into this tier. So Hieratics are going to stick right here in the Tier 3 spot. Hieratics are still such a powerful deck out of nowhere. They can do some crazy things. But they kind of do lose to themselves sometimes, and that is the biggest problem with the deck. Karakuri will fall into the casual tier as always. It's such a fun deck. It just doesn't do enough against powerhouses. So another demotion is going to happen. We had in Tier 3 the last time we had the Dark Lord Christia Turbo deck, but it is going to fall to from Tier 3 to Rogue this week or this month. I was testing the deck again, and it honestly was not performing very well. I was a lot higher on this deck in the first month, but the more you test in a format, the more you realize some off-the-wall strategies, might not be as good as you once thought. But Final Countdown is going to go into Tier 2 for now. And the testing and sample size I still had with the deck is still very strong, the deck is still very annoying, and the deck still has favorable matchups with a lot of decks. So next we have gadgets. I just did a deck profile on these last week. Thank you, Norton. I appreciate that. But the deck is really versatile, can do a lot of things. I like it a lot, but for now, we're going to put it in the Rogue tier. Oh yes, Dark Worlds. One of my favorite decks. And one of the better Tier 2 options. And this will remain in Tier 2, as the deck still has very good matchups with a lot of the decks down here. Has solid matchups with heroes, has solid matchups with every deck but Rabbit up here. That's why this will probably stay in Tier 2 till the end of time. And yeah. Up next we have the Gravekeeper deck. We're just going to throw this in Tier 2 immediately. It has a good matchup with Inzectors and Chaos Dragons on good days. Has good matchups with a lot of the decks down here. And just being able to shut off the graveyard is just good. Alright, next we have Infernity. Infernity is a very strong combo deck that has the goal of ending on a few powerful Synchro monsters and ending on a couple of very powerful trap cards, such as Infernity Barrier and Infernity Break. This deck is very strong, it can combo for days, and if you aren't sure how to play against it, it will ruin your day, and that is why it is going to stick. It is going to make its debut in the Rogue category. Alright, next we're going to take a look at Gishki. So, Gishki is a deck this format that exists. It does have access to 3 Gust Kraken and 3 Mind August, but it doesn't have access to Constellar Ptolemy M7, which is a big problem. On a good day, this deck can hand loop 2 or 3 cards and maybe end on like a Photon Strike Bouncer and maybe another rank 6. It is a threat, it can be a threat, but not having the recycling ability, we'll just leave it in Rogue for now. Still a overall solid choice. Exodia, like I said, it's Exodia, it's consistent, it has so many powerful cards. It is tough to beat if you don't know what you're doing, and that's why I'm going to keep this in Tier 3. On to Zombies. Zombies is a casual deck. As much as I love Zombies, the deck just struggles with the bigger decks. It can do some really fun things on the crackback if you open really well. But the problem is the one Mizuki really hurts the deck, but it will not stop me from playing it a lot. All right, next we have Monarchs. This is another casual deck, but I do think it's one of the better casual decks. The Frog Engine is alive and well, except Substitute, obviously, but Caius is just really good. Rise is really good. Treeborn Frog is still a hell of a card at this point. So that's why we're going to have that in casual. We're going to put this in casual as well. Just Disaster Dragons. It's just worse Chaos Dragons. So Watts were in casual last month, but I've been playing them a little bit, and they're actually going to move up to the Rogue category this month. This deck is a ton of fun, and people really do not understand what the deck does, and that is why I believe it can be a very successful Rogue deck. Plus, just being able to surprise like the Tier 3 decks a lot is really good. It still struggles with like the top tier, but can do some stuff against the Tier 2, well, not final countdown. But, so now we're going to get into the FTKs. I'm still going to throw the FTKs in the casual tier. And then I'm also going to throw these skill drain decks in the casual tier. So now we have the Black Wings. That's a casual deck. Black Wings are cool. Armor Master's a hell of a card. Problem is, Gale, Kalute, and Black Whirlwind are all at one. Now we have the Quick Draw Synchro decks. We're going to put this still in Rogue. I still think any deck that can casually crap out a Quasar is really good. On a scale of decks really struggle to out Quasar. So now we have Empty Jar. This was in tier 3 the last time, but we're going to move this deck down to the Rogue category. Empty Jar was another deck like Chainburn where I gave it a little bit too much credit for having some YCS success. However, that does not mean do not underestimate these decks, because again, this will be a monthly series, so these decks could easily have success in the next month and then they'll be back up. Now we have Glad Beasts, another deck I profiled. Of course, this deck can be very aggressive and have positive matchups, but unfortunately, it is, just another alright deck, though I do think it is better than these ones. Alright, now we have Ojamas. This is Ojama Lime. It's the boy. Time for Ojama Lime to do some Ojama crime. Ojamas are really cool. Ojama Blue and Ojama Red are really good cards. Unfortunately, they just don't do enough. Very fun deck. I highly recommend you give it a shot, but it's a casual deck. Alright, now we have X-Sabers. So X-Sabers are still practically at full power. I said practically. Unfortunately, we are at the point where Dark Soul has gotten its errata, and you now can no longer cycle through the same Dark Soul for a bunch of searches. So this deck is going to fall into the casual deck. I do believe it's still a solid casual deck, but no more than that. Aliens. Aliens are really cool. Golgar's a hell of a cool card, but it doesn't stop it from being a rogue deck or a casual deck. Crystal Beasts. So this is a very interesting deck, this format. The way I've been playing it has been a Horn of the Phantom Beast build, because you have Topaz Tiger, Sapphire Pegasus, and Amethyst Cat all being beast types. So you could just bump them up by 800 casually, so it turns Pegasus to a 24. No, wait, to a 26. Sorry, Topaz to a 24, and Cat to a 2K. Always good. I do think this is still a casual deck, but I do think it falls into around here. Now we get into a deck that we're going to talk about very soon on the channel. We got Agents. Agents are still a very strong deck. I really do like them, but they are going to fall to the top of this top of Rogue. We got TGs. Deck profile coming out later this week. TG is a very good stun deck. The biggest problem, again, we have the stupid hit to Striker, because ban list. Whee! Because Konami, I guess. Anyway, another pretty strong rogue deck. Now you have Volcanics. Volcanics are really cool. Pain would be proud. Unfortunately for Pain, another casual deck. Battery Men are also a casual deck. Not having 9-volt just kind of makes the deck semi-obsolete. The Beast deck is still going to check in here around the Rogue tier. Just because it can smokescreen into Windup is why it's such a versatile deck. And then last but not least, we have the Banished Fish deck. It was this weird thing they were trying to do when Generation Force came out with Leviair. So, yeah, that'll be it for the October tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.